Stop scrolling. Top 4 Sacagawea $1 coins worth big money. Welcome to Numismatic Vault Extra. Today, we're exploring some of the most valuable top 4 Sacagawea $1 coins from the United States of America, United States. In this video, we'll cover their current market values, highlight notable era coins, and explain the specific conditions that make certain Sacagawea dollars truly rare. This includes gold-tone coins, unique color variations, and special characteristics that have become major players in the coin collector and investor world. These rare treasures are not just pieces of history. They are also some of the most valuable coins collectors are actively hunting today. So, if you're a coin enthusiast, an investor, or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, backhand index pointing right, this video is for you. Let's get started with the first coin. Magnifying glass tilted left money bag. The legendary 2000D Sacagawea dollar. America's golden coin of destiny. In the vast history of American money, there are moments when an ordinary coin quietly becomes extraordinary. The year 2000 marked such a moment. As the United States crossed into a new millennium, a golden-colored dollar entered circulation, unnoticed by most, underestimated by many, yet destined to become one of the most talked-about modern coins in American history. This was the Sacagawea dollar, and among them, the 2000D mint mark coin holds a story that continues to captivate collectors and dreamers alike. The Sacagawea dollar was created to represent renewal. America wanted a coin that felt modern but rooted in history, bold yet respectful. Sacagawea, the young Native American woman who guided Lewis and Clark through unknown lands, was chosen as the face of this vision. Her calm expression and the child on her back symbolize guidance, survival, and the quiet power of those who change history without seeking recognition. When the Denver Mint struck the 2000D Sacagawea dollars, millions were produced. At the time, no one imagined that some of these coins would one day be spoken of in whispers, studied under magnification, and chased across auctions. They were released into a world excited by the future, a world that did not yet understand what it was holding. The coin's golden appearance instantly set it apart. Though not made of real gold, its warm glow created a sense of importance and novelty. Many people saved these coins simply because they looked different. That simple human reaction, curiosity, played a quiet but powerful role in shaping the coin's future legacy. What makes the 2000D Sacagawea dollar especially fascinating is the moment in which it was born. The U.S. Mint was transitioning designs, experimenting with production techniques, and racing against time to meet demand. In such moments, subtle variations occur, differences in strike strength, surface texture, and finish that separate ordinary coins from exceptional ones. Among the Denver minted coins, some were struck with unusually strong detail. Sacagawea's hair appears sharper, the infant's features more defined, and the eagle on the reverse more alive. These coins feel different in hand, heavier in presence, richer in character, and collectors recognize them instantly as something special. History teaches us that rarity is not always about low numbers. Sometimes rarity is created when millions exist, but very few survive in perfect or near-perfect condition. The Sacagawea dollar faced rejection in daily use. Vending machines resisted it, people preferred paper bills, and the coin quietly slipped out of circulation. Ironically, this rejection preserved it. Thousands of 2000D Sacagawea dollars were set aside, forgotten in drawers, jars, and bankrolls. Time passed. Life moved on. And while the world changed rapidly, these coins remained untouched, their surfaces protected, their details intact, their potential growing silently. In the coin market, condition is destiny. A Sacagawea dollar that looks brand new decades later becomes more than currency. It becomes a preserved moment in American history. When collectors encounter a flawless 2000D example, they are not just buying metal. They are buying survival against time. The power of this coin lies in its symbolism. It represents a woman overlooked by history, a coin overlooked by commerce, and value overlooked by the public. That combination creates an emotional pull that money alone cannot explain. Collectors are drawn to stories, and this coin carries one of quiet strength and unexpected importance. As years pass, fewer untouched examples remain. Coins are spent, damaged, or lost. Every missing piece increases the importance of those that survive. This slow disappearance is how modern coins transform into future legends. Not overnight, but steadily, patiently. The Denver Mint mark, the small D beneath the date, anchors the coin to a specific place and moment in time. It reminds us that value is born not just from design, but from circumstance. Where a coin was made, how it was struck, and how it was treated afterward all shape its destiny. There is something deeply American about this story. A simple dollar, ignored and underestimated, quietly gaining strength while the world looks elsewhere. It mirrors the belief that opportunity often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone willing to look closer. This is why experienced collectors advise caution. A golden dollar should never be dismissed without thought. Once spent, its story ends. Once preserved, its story continues, growing in meaning as time moves forward and history reshapes perspective. In the end, the 2000D Sacagawea dollar is more than a coin. It is a reminder that fortune does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it comes softly, resting unnoticed in the palm of your hand. And for those who recognize its quiet power, it holds the promise of history, value, and possibility, all wrapped in a golden glow. Next up, the secret power of the 2001 Sacagawea dollar. America's golden mystery. In the quiet world of American coins, some pieces speak softly while carrying thunderous potential. Among them stands a golden-colored dollar that most people have seen, few have questioned, and almost no one truly understands. The Sacagawea dollar, especially those dated 2001 with the P mint mark, holds a story that blends history, hope, and hidden fortune in a way that feels almost unreal. When the Sacagawea dollar was introduced at the turn of the new millennium, it represented more than currency. It symbolized a fresh chapter for the United States, honoring a Native American woman whose strength and guidance helped shape the nation's earliest exploration. Sacagawea was not a conqueror or a ruler, but a quiet force of wisdom, survival, and courage. And that spirit lives on in the coin that bears her image. The year 2001 was a moment of transition. The excitement of the new dollar had already settled, production continued quietly, and millions of coins rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a small but important P. At first glance, these coins appeared ordinary, identical, and destined for circulation. Yet history has shown us that ordinary moments often hide extraordinary outcomes. The Sacagawea dollar's golden appearance has always sparked curiosity. Though not made of real gold, its warm glow captured the imagination of the public. That appearance alone caused many to set the coin aside, treating it differently from other dollars. Over time, this simple act of saving rather than spending created the perfect conditions for rarity, preservation, and future discovery. What makes the 2001 Sacagawea dollar so fascinating is not just how many were made, but how many were never truly used. While millions were minted, a large number disappeared into collections, drawers, and forgotten containers. Coins that never faced circulation were retained sharp details, smooth surfaces, and a brilliance that collectors prize above all else. Within these untouched coins, subtle differences emerged. Slight variations in strike pressure, surface texture, color tone, and alignment created distinct personalities for each coin. To the untrained eye, they look identical. To an experienced collector, these differences tell a story of how the mint operated, adjusted, experimented, and occasionally made mistakes that turned common coins into rare survivors. Some 2001 Sacagawea dollars display an unusually strong strike, with deep details in Sacagawea's hair, the infant's features, and the eagle's wings on the reverse. These coins feel alive, as if the design was carved rather than pressed. In the world of coin collecting, such sharpness is not just beauty, it is value. Over time, collectors began to realize that the Sacagawea dollar was never truly embraced by daily commerce. Vending machines rejected it, people preferred paper bills, and the coin quietly faded from everyday use. Ironically, that rejection preserved it. Coins meant to circulate instead became time capsules, frozen in near-perfect condition. The power of the 2001 Sacagawea dollar lies in this paradox. A coin created for the future was ignored by the present and saved by accident. Today, that accidental preservation fuels demand. High-grade examples have become symbols of modern American rarity, not because they are ancient, but because they survived untouched. History has shown again and again that value does not come from age alone. It comes from scarcity, condition, and story. The Sacagawea dollar carries all three. It represents a woman erased from traditional textbooks, a coin overlooked by commerce, and a moment when America attempted something bold and different. For collectors, Discovering a pristine 2001 Sacagawea dollar feels like uncovering a quiet secret. It is not loud wealth. It is patient wealth. Coins like this do not explode in value overnight. They climb steadily, driven by demand, limited supply, and the growing appreciation for modern U.S. coinage. There is also a psychological power in holding this coin. Its weight, its color, its calm expression, all remind the holder that true value does not always announce itself. Sometimes it waits, sometimes it hides, and sometimes it rewards those who pause before spending what appears ordinary. As years pass, fewer untouched examples remain. Coins are lost, damaged, or spent. Each disappearance strengthens the survivors. This slow thinning of the population is how modern coins transform into future legends, much like earlier American coins that once seemed just as common. This is why experienced collectors urge caution. A coin like the 2001 Sacagawea dollar should never be dismissed without examination. Once spent, its story ends. Once preserved, its story continues, potentially growing in importance and value with every passing decade. The Sacagawea dollar is more than metal. It is a reflection of America's quiet strength, overlooked heroes, and hidden opportunities. If you ever find one resting in your hand, take a moment. You may not be holding gold, but you are holding possibility. And in the world of rare coins, possibility is the first step toward a fortune. Next up, the hidden story of the 2002 Sacagawea dollar. A golden coin with quiet power. Some coins arrive with noise and celebration, while others slip into history almost unnoticed. The 2002 Sacagawea dollar with the D mint mark belongs to the second kind. It entered circulation quietly, without fanfare, yet it carries a story shaped by transition, patience, and the slow-building power of time. What appears to be a simple golden dollar is, in reality, a reflection of a changing America. By 2002, the Sacagawea dollar was no longer new. The excitement of its debut had faded, and daily commerce had largely rejected it in favor of paper bills. Yet the design itself remained deeply symbolic. Sacagawea, guiding the nation's earliest explorers while carrying her child, represents endurance, wisdom, and unseen strength, qualities that mirror the journey of the coin itself. The Denver Mint struck the 2002 Sacagawea dollars during a time when demand was uncertain. Millions were produced, but many never reached active circulation. Banks stored them, collectors set them aside, and the public slowly forgot about them. This lack of use would later become one of the coin's most defining characteristics. The coin's golden appearance has always invited curiosity. Though not made of real gold, its warm color created an emotional response. People hesitated to spend it. Some believed it looked too valuable, others found it unusual. That hesitation, repeated across the country, quietly preserved countless examples in unusually high condition. Inside the mint, production is never perfectly uniform. Variations naturally occur, in pressure, alignment, surface texture, and finish. On coins like the 2002 Sacagawea dollar, these subtle differences give each piece its own personality. To the casual eye, they are identical. To the careful observer, they tell different stories. Coins from this period often display strong strikes and smooth, flowing surfaces. When the details of Sacagawea's hair, the child's face, and the eagle's wings appear especially sharp, the coin takes on a presence that feels almost sculptural. These qualities transform a mass-produced object into something quietly exceptional. What makes the 2002 Sacagawea dollar particularly intriguing is how rarely it was used as intended. Vending machines rejected it, cash registers ignored it, and wallets avoided it. Instead of wearing down through use, many coins rested untouched for years, sealed away from the damage of everyday life. Is the most powerful force in numismatics. As years pass, coins are lost, scratched, or spent. Those that remain pristine become scarcer with each passing decade. A Sacagawea dollar that looks nearly new long after its release stands as proof of survival rather than intention. The Denver Mint mark connects this coin to a specific place and workforce, a mint known for consistency and strength. That small D beneath the date anchors the coin to a moment when America was still transitioning into the digital age, yet relied heavily on physical money to keep daily life moving. Collectors are drawn to coins that tell quiet stories. The 2002 Sacagawea dollar tells a story of rejection that became preservation, of neglect that became protection. It represents how value can grow not from attention, but from being left alone. The Washington Eagle on the reverse, soaring with confidence, reinforces the idea of endurance and forward motion. Combined with Sacagawea's calm strength, the design feels timeless, untouched by trends, rooted in meaning rather than decoration. As modern coinage continues to evolve, early 2000s dollars like this one gain importance simply because they represent an era that is already slipping into history. Fewer untouched examples remain each year, and that slow disappearance reshapes how collectors view what was once ignored. There is something deeply human about discovering value where none was expected. A forgotten coin in a drawer becomes a connection to the past. A simple dollar becomes a reminder that not everything valuable announces itself loudly. This is why experienced collectors always advise patience. Spending a coin ends its story. Preserving it allows history to continue speaking through it. The difference between the two is often nothing more than a moment of attention. In the end, the 2002 Sacagawea dollar is more than a golden-colored coin. It is a lesson in quiet strength, overlooked potential, and the slow power of time. It reminds us that fortune does not always arrive suddenly. Sometimes it waits, resting silently in the palm of your hand, until someone is wise enough to recognize it. Next up, the 2000p Sacagawea dollar. A golden beginning hidden in plain sight. At the edge of a new millennium, when the world was filled with anticipation and uncertainty, the United States released a coin that symbolized both progress and remembrance. The year 2000 was more than a date. It was a turning point. Among the many objects created during that time, the Sacagawea dollar with the P mint mark quietly entered circulation, carrying a story far deeper than most people ever realized. This coin was born from a desire to change how Americans viewed money. The U.S. Mint wanted a dollar that felt modern yet meaningful, something that would stand apart from the past. Sacagawea, a young Native American woman who helped guide Lewis and Clark across unknown land, was chosen as the face of this new vision. Her presence on the coin represented guidance, resilience, and unseen influence, qualities that would later define the coin's own journey. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these 2000p Sacagawea dollars. At the time, they were everywhere, bright, golden, and unfamiliar. People noticed them not because they were rare, but because they looked different. That difference sparked curiosity, hesitation, and in many cases, preservation. Though the coin appears golden, it was never meant to imitate wealth. Its color symbolized warmth and approachability, a break from the cold tones of traditional coinage. Ironically, that golden glow caused many people to treat it as something special, setting it aside instead of spending it freely. The year 2000 was a moment of experimentation inside the mint. New processes, new alloys, and intense production schedules created conditions where subtle differences naturally emerged. Slight variations in surface texture, strike strength, and finish gave each coin a personality shaped by the moment it was made. Some 2000p Sacagawea dollars display extraordinary sharpness. Sacagawea's hair flows with clarity, the infant's features appear calm and defined, and the eagle on the reverse spreads its wings with strength. These details give the coin a sculpted appearance that feels intentional, even when it was born from mass production. Despite its promise, the Sacagawea dollar never found a permanent place in everyday commerce. Vending machines rejected it, people preferred paper bills, and the coin slowly faded from daily use. What seemed like failure became preservation. Coins that were never spent never wore down. Across the country, these dollars rested quietly in bank vaults, drawers, jars, and forgotten boxes. Years passed. Decades followed. While the world moved toward digital payments and cashless systems, these coins remained untouched, frozen in time. Collectors understand that rarity is often created unintentionally. When millions exist but few survive in pristine condition, those survivors become powerful. A well-preserved 2000p Sacagawea dollar is not just a coin, it is evidence of restraint, chance, and history aligning. The P mint mark beneath the date connects the coin directly to Philadelphia, the birthplace of American coinage. It ties the modern dollar to centuries of tradition, reminding us that even as designs change, the spirit of American money remains rooted in its origins. There is emotional weight in this coin. Sacagawea's calm expression reflects quiet leadership, while the eagle on the reverse represents confidence and forward motion. Together, they form a message about strength that does not demand attention but earns it over time. As years pass, untouched examples grow fewer. Coins are lost, damaged, or spent without thought. Each disappearance increases the importance of those that remain. This slow process is how modern coins become tomorrow's legends. The story of the 2000p Sacagawea dollar mirrors the American dream itself. Something introduced with hope, overlooked by many, and quietly gaining significance while the world looks elsewhere. Its value lies not only in condition, but in meaning. This is why knowledgeable collectors pause before spending any golden dollar from the year 2000. Once spent, its story continues anonymously. Once preserved, it becomes a conversation with the past and a bridge to the future. In the end, the 2000p Sacagawea dollar is more than metal. It is a symbol of beginnings, overlooked potential, and the power of patience. It reminds us that fortune does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes, it waits silently, resting in your hand, until someone recognizes what it truly represents.